There are reprints for 151 and Paldean Fates coming. Am I selling? Should we take some profit? Should you hold forever? Well, a lot of people have asked me this because I'm very known for holding a lot of these products in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of booster bundles of both, and plenty of ETBs. So a lot of people ask me, what am I going to do with my holdings with these since they're getting reprinted? So let's discuss. So first of all, let's just quickly go over 151, then we'll go over Paldean Fates, and then what I'm going to be doing. 151 is getting a booster bundle reprint and a Blooming Waters reprint. If you did not buy 151 or Blooming Waters, now is your chance. You can catch restocks online, you can try and get it in person, you can try and get lucky, or you can buy it off a scalper. My advice to you is if you want to get them cheap, now is your chance. However, don't get your hopes up. Don't expect to pay $100 for Blooming Water or $60 for a 151 booster bundle or $1,000 for a 151 display. No, this will not crash the price drastically. Guys, you need to understand that price memory is a thing. Once a booster box reaches a certain price, it's so hard for it to go down in price to a significant amount. Of course, a reprint will correct the price a bit. Sure, it'll go from maybe 400 to like 320 or 330. It's not going to go to 200. It's not. People are going to increase their positions on people who have the boxes, but they want more. Like me, Paldean Fates, I've constantly said, I want more Paldean Fates. The Bubble Mew is beyond iconic. The Bubble Mew is revolutionary. The artist for Bubble Mew is becoming the second Shinji Kanda, where people are hunting down the artworks. Every new card that dude makes is just going to take off. The Bubble Mew is putting its foot in the door and going, hey. So, yeah. Same with 151. 151 is a phenomenal set and the cards are exploding. So if you think you're going to get them at a cheap price, you are dreaming. So that's 151. Paldean Fates is receiving a new collection box. Basically, long story short, they're just dumping a bunch of packs on the market. That's pretty much just, when they release these collection boxes, it's pretty much, long story short, they want to release as many packs in as little collection boxes as possible, because the more collection boxes is more shipping and it's more complicated. You need to understand with a collection box, every collection box, like poster collections, the poster collections, making like 4 poster collections versus one Blooming was way harder to make 4. It requires way more like packaging and stuff like that. So they're much better off just, if they want to dump packs, that's their best bet. So my advice to you, if you hold either of these, is just hold it, okay? Guys, if you're messaging me and saying, should I sell my Blooming Woods? Should I sell my Paldean Fates? Save your breath. Just save it. You know what my answer is going to be, okay? You know what it's going to be. The sets aren't even out of rotation. You can't sell a set that's not out of rotation. Why would you sell a set that's still in rotation? Like, it doesn't compute. Sets growth only begins once it's out of rotation. Why is that the case? Well, the case why is because there is so much buying pressure being held off from the market in the hopes of reprints. So, if Pokemon made a press release tomorrow saying, hey guys, we will never reprint Prismatic Evolutions again, what would happen is overnight, all Prismatic items would double or triple overnight. You know why? Because there is that much buying power ready to buy up the market. However, they are hoping they can get it cheaper later with reprints. So, what does this translate to 151 and Paldean Fates? Well, every single reprint that goes by, what happens is the speculation usually does most of the crashing versus the reality. So this is not Pokemon related, this is just the world as a whole. Speculation usually exaggerates the story more than it actually is. A good example is politicians. How many times, I'm not going to get political, I'm not going to use any names, I'm just using this as an example. How many times does a politician come in and the other side who didn't vote for them, whatever side you're on, I don't really care, that's not really the point of the video. The point is, there is always a side that will immediately say the country is done for, the country is doomed. And a lot of the time, the country, after a couple of years, is not doomed. Maybe the economy pulls back, maybe it does well, not really the point. The point is that the theories is that the country is done for, and there's going to be all these different things that bring down the country. Same with Bitcoin. How many times did people say that when a Bitcoin ETF is a thing in America, that it would make Bitcoin go to $1 million? How many people speculated that Bitcoin, when it gets the ETF, it's done for? It's done so. I remember the day when Bitcoin's ETF got approved, the price didn't move. Like, I mean, okay, Bitcoin goes up and down and up and down, but it didn't do that 50 or 100% return that people were talking about. So then after, the number one question that was asked in Bitcoin subreddits and communities was, hey, what's going on? I thought it was going to $1 million. I thought it was going only up. Same with the Bitcoin halving. When the Bitcoin halving happens, people go, oh, that's it. The second the Bitcoin halving happens, it's going to the moon. No, the supply shock takes a while to happen, but that's not the point. The point is speculation usually does most of the power, right? So the months, weeks, days before a reprint, people start to dump on the market. Now, let me ask you a question. How can Pokemon booster bundles and booster boxes go down, which for the record, it's only like 5 to 15%. How can they go down when no added supply entered the market? Well, it's actually run on pure fear. Fear is the fuel that is fueling people to sell it. And then when a reprint actually comes, actual added supply doesn't really do anything to the price. Maybe for a few weeks, it gets brought down a bit. Costco. When Costco dropped those Prismatic Evolution, ETB, and booster bundles, of course, the price went down. Absolutely. However, how many posts did you see online of people saying, hey guys, I will cash out your Costco bundles. I will pay this much. And you could get some instant cash. You could go to Costco, buy it, resell it to this dude in happy days. But that would never enter the market because this dude is just buying up all of them. That happened time and time again. And this is what I advise you. This is your last chance. See, this is the thing about Pokemon items is that generally what happens is the people who are willing to wait the longest generally get the best quality items. If you are buying Prismatic Evolutions now, you are committing to waiting a good while for Prismatic Evolutions until it eventually goes out of rotation. However, this means you get first dibs. This means you get the ETBs, the UPCs, the Booster Bundle displays. Bro, where are they? Booster Bundle displays. You get all of the good stuff straight away. However, when it's about to go out of rotation, people are left with the scraps, the poster collections, or the Zapdos boxes, the Alakazam. Yucky. You see, people who wait the longest usually get dibs. I mean, look what I just said. So let's translate this to 151 Paldean Fates. I don't want to dehumanize anybody. I don't want to be rude. This is all just like analogies, but in this instance, you're almost like the person getting the scraps, right? You're almost the person getting the crumbs, okay? So if you have not gotten a good position on 151 Paldean Fates and 151 on Paldean Fates, then your job now is to make it known online that you are cashing out any scalpers who manage to buy product. You can try to get restocks, which if you're in Australia, I recommend using TCGNOTIFY. That's what I use. It literally costs $12 a month. But if you use my code, which is Sandboy50, you get 50% off. If you're trying to catch restocks in Australia, online or in-store, I recommend going for it. There's a video in the description that explains what it is. It's just a 2-minute video. If you are interested, I would recommend you go for it. But try to get stuff at retail, but don't try to make it your personality, right? Like, a lot of people comment and say, nope, I'm never buying above retail. Why? Like, do you think you're protected because you're buying at retail? Like, if I buy Prismatic for $100 in Elite Trainer box and I get 100 of them, but you can only manage to get 5 at retail at $60 and it goes to $300 in ETB, what was the point of waiting? Why did you hold yourself down, right? So same thing with this. Try to get a couple, sure. Like Prismatic SBCs is a great example. Out of my 6 SBCs, I have a sealed case of SBCs. Didn't get that at retail. I just bought that off a scalper. But the other 2 I got them at retail. So it helped my average go down. Very cool, very demure. But the thing is, that's what you want to do, right? Like Prismatic ETBs is a great example. Well, not Prismatic, Booster Bundles. Booster Bundles is a great example. Every time there's any in the shops or there's an online drop, I'll just get it slowly but surely, and I'll just buy some more scalpers if I see a good enough deal, or I'll just scalp them myself. You know, fine, I'll do it myself. Literally me when I'm buying those. That's the way you want to do it, right? You don't have to get restocks online. That's purely optional, but just buy off scalpers. Buy it on the day of the reprint. Try not to wait. These prices don't stay cheap for a while. And when I say cheap, I mean like a 10% like pullback. So do not sell any 151 and Paldean Fates. I beg of you, please do not. They're not even out of rotation. Who cares? They're getting a reprint. Yeah, the set is like 7 months away from going out of rotation. Sets usually last about 2 years. So we're literally 2/3 into the life cycle. That's not that long. Like, yeah, okay, it's getting close to like being out of rotation. we still got like a good half a year plus until it is officially out of rotation. So the idea that it's never going to get reprints is just stupid. It's amazing that it gets a reprint and immediately people start panicking. Guys, come on. We need to practice this discipline of not being worried, not being phased, and also be happy about it. Like, dude, I want more Paldean Fates. When I saw that collection box, I was over the moon. I was like, heck yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. And people message me saying like, oh my goodness, Sam, there's a collection box releasing. And I'm like, yeah, how good is that, right? It's amazing. And they're like, wait, no, but it's gonna crash. I'm like, dude, I don't care if Paldean Fates crashes. I literally don't give a shit. I still believe in the set. The cards haven't changed. The ports haven't changed. The set is still the same. It still gets ripped into the oblivion. The number one problem with Paldean Fates, this is something a lot of people don't realize that I find very funny about Paldean Fates, is that first of all, Reprint shippers just can't get their hands on them. A lot of sets like 151, Paldea Evolved, Prismatic Evolutions, they can somewhat get their hands on it because it's printed into the masses. Paldean Fates just isn't. Paldean Fates, no one really holds a lot of it. Like, no one was really stockpiling it. And when I say that, I'm comparing it to other sets. Like, when it was fire sold, no one was really buying it in bulk. And when I say fire sold, I mean when the ETBs are like $30 each. Now, if you have bought a couple, I'm not talking about you. If you have like, if you're saying like, oh, what do you mean? I have 10 ETBs or I have 20 ETBs. That's going to last like 30 minutes on a rip and ship stream. I mean people who have bought like 1,000. Or I mean people who have bought like 100 151 UPCs. That's what people are buying up. 151. When 151 came out, everybody was buying 151. I bought 40 151 early trader boxes for like what? $60 each, $50, 60, something like that. Sealed cases. People were buying UPCs, booster bundles, all that jazz. No one was really touching Paldean Fates. So that's what I find very interesting about Paldean Fates, is that there's not a lot of people touching it. So I feel like there's almost going to be a bit of a shortage for it long term. Technically, they could just stop everything and reprint Paldean Fates, but I don't see them doing that. They do need to release like Phantasmal Flames and focus on that. Technically, yeah, sure, they can reprint 151 Paldean Fates, but at the same time, I don't see them, like Paldean Fates, they just don't have enough time to quickly reprint it as much as possible to create like this large holdings for some positions. So yeah, that's the thing about Paldean Fates. So yeah. Oh, also, by the way, I'm not going to mention this a lot, but with memberships on YouTube, you can make it where you can set different tiers. Originally, I just had like 3 different tiers. Like you could like message me on Instagram, and I'd like guaranteed reply. I'd like reply to your comment on YouTube. Yeah, I just decided to remove all of that. I just made it $1, like $1 USD. It's purely just if people want to. It's obviously optional, but if you like the content that you see and you want to support me more, that's like the best way to do it. It's just $1. We just set it the cheapest amount. Anybody who did have the original memberships, like the $5 one or like the $8 one, you've just been refunded it, and I've just cut it straight to $1 because I figured that's more fitting. Yeah, it's just a bit of a random side note. If you do want to join, happy days. If you don't want to, happy days. I appreciate if you do, but don't feel pressured to. Anyways, so if you do hold it, hold it. If you need more, now is like your last chance. There might be another reprint in the future. I kind of doubt it though. I mean, like, we could take a restock or something, but like, it's getting really up there in age, and it's, even if there is a reprint in the future, it just doesn't really matter a whole ton. Closer it does get to the like final date on when it's out of rotation, it kind of just becomes more and more people want it, right? Because more and more people jump into it last minute. So yeah, that's my advice to you. If you hold it, hold it. If you don't hold any and you want some, just buy it like 1 to 2 days after release. That's like your absolute best bet. But yeah, that's going to do for today's video, guys. Let me know, what's your strategy?